This is for National Star Wars Day, which is Friday. This is Creative Challenge number 2. There's a total of 3, and I'm awarding prizes on Friday. So I will provide the link if you want more information, but today I want to just get right to drawing this Stormtrooper. So in the download, I have this you guys can print out. It just walks you through the first 11 steps to get all the way to your Stormtrooper. And then I provided a PDF that has a picture of this one that shows some of the shading if you want to do the 3D part of it. And if you don't, if you want to just leave it as this last one like a line drawing, of course, that is fine too. So to start with, you just need a sheet of white paper, a pencil, and some kind of trusty eraser. So I'm going to go vertical. And on my last one, I noticed I got a little stretched out this way. I wish it was a little bit wider. So I'm gonna try to get mine a little wider this time. And honestly, there are a lot of imperfections in this. I mean, look at this funky curve here. But you know what? It's okay. And that is my whole point of this, is that anybody can do this. And so if it doesn't turn out perfect, please don't fret. All right, so starting here with this line, kind of divide your paper into thirds, and this line's going to go right here on the top third. And it's slightly arced, but not too much. If you just let your hand sort of make the natural curve that it wants to, that's about it. And then we're going to make the top of the helmet. Feel free to turn your paper a lot, because if you're trying to do this, our hand doesn't like to make that curve. It's more natural to go this way. If you're left-handed, of course, this will feel more normal, and this will feel wonky. So just turn your paper as needed. And notice too, as we get down here at the bottom, so right now we're just making these 2 lines, and we've still got this much that's going to go to each side of the paper. So make sure you have at least that much. Moving on to 3. We're going to widen this top line, make it a little thicker. And we're going to make what looks like some shades here. So we're going to mark inside this outside line a little bit and curve that. Same thing here. So we've got a space in here. So if you're looking, like, here's the middle, we've got a space and a space. So if that helps you, you can make little marks. You can measure things with your pencil. So I'm taking the point, and then I'm just going to pinch where this end is. Go over here and see, look how much longer it is. Oh, that was my line. I don't know where I screwed up with that. Well, let's just erase that. That's easy fix. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the bottom speaker part. So this top curve that we make here is actually this bottom part of the mask, the helmet. So we're going to come down quite a bit and just kind of make that there to start with. This round part goes outside of this edge just a little bit. Go outside of it a bit. And these will actually be our very bottom. So we can sort of keep these flat, just make little curves here. And I'm going to get picky about how far I am from the bottom of my page so that I keep those the same. We're just going to go down and out and meet this. Go down and out and meet that. See, this is my center now. So I got that a little off. Okay, so now we're ready for the bottom part of these. Again, we've got a curve here where it comes up. Making sure I'm keeping in line, down into that line we drew, and we just connect these now. All right, so we're gonna kind of repeat this line, but not quite such a point. We're gonna round it out a little bit more up here between the eyes. So it's kind of like the helmet line continues down a little bit past that eye point and then directly into about here. So I'm going to make that mark and out from the eye about here. So now I can just connect those there and angle that to meet that. Once this reaches below the eye, it's got a curve and then it meets this line. Okay, we're on step 6 now. So this part is going to go out the furthest. So I'm going to mark it about here. And then it just curves in to about here. So I'm going to measure from this point out was about there. Then we'll do the center part. We've got 2 circles and a little upside down U shape. So again, kind of following that center. The easiest way to make circles is to kind of just start moving your hand in a circle and then it knows what to do if we let it. Okay, so I'm noticing I think this needs to go a little wider. And this circle is too far. And if I'm making you guys erase a ton, sorry. It's part of it. All right, once we go over here, just draw our circle. Over here, draw this circle. All right, let's move on to these funky little ear things. Makes him look like a robot. So it comes just below the black stripe, and then where these lines make an upside down Y, it's just below that. And it's slightly wider at the bottom. So it's gonna go out just a little. We've got a couple little circles in here. Step 8, gonna add a little bit to this outer curve. It's gonna end about here. Okay, we're gonna build a little speaker box thing here. And step 9, added a couple more little blocks out here. All right, step 10, gonna get in that center again, make a curve, and we're gonna end it about here and here. And then we've got 2 lines that go out here and they curve a little bit. Make sure they're at the same curve, because then we're gonna do this. So this is funny, I guess I stretch mine out this way because I've got a lot of space right here. And this one has just a little space right there. So maybe I'll go ahead and do that just to show you, because I know sometimes those things will bug you. So we'll speed this up and you can see how I do it. Okay, that's a little bit better. This sort of makes a U shape around here. Okay, we've got another little robotic piece here. Okay, step 11. So we've got these lines here. So as I was looking at some of my proportions here, I noticed that my eyes could use a lot more thickness and weight, so I'm going to make those a little bigger here. Again, you can check the thickness, see if they're about the same size. Now they are. So that means I have to move this part down. And I'm making this a lot more pointy because I'm looking at this one, even though my drawing has a pretty wide bridge here. So either is fine. It's still gonna look like a Stormtrooper, so don't worry. Okay, so first we'll kind of do the main black areas, this stripe here. And I also feel like my band here is not quite thick enough. So as I color this in, I'm going to make it a little wider. You can do this shading with colored pencils, chalk pastels, oil pastels, whatever you feel like. I'm just going to outline this a little darker. So in the helmet eye parts, leave kind of an area about like that. That's going to be lighter. So you can just start shading around that real softly so it kind of fades in. And I even go over it just a little bit. And then just go a little darker, and fill in the rest nice and dark. Continue our outlines on this side. So on this outer earpiece, I'm going to make this darker on the bottom and fade up to light. Okay, so now I've got everything outlined. You can erase any marks if you need to. Alright, I'm going to start with shading these sides here. So you just start with the darker along the edge and fade into light. I tend to start with sort of a medium color for shading, and then I fade out to the light and go back in and make a little bit darker. And what the shading does is just adds dimension. Makes it look more 3D than flat. Okay, and then right under this dark band, just right under that edge is a little shadow. I'll continue down here. Again, darker right by the line and fade out. And just go in that same direction as the line. Okay, so now we're going to do these ones right here. And these are the shadows that I really think make the mask look dimensional. I'll go all the way through and kind of draw in a V so you can kind of see where you're going to want them. Keep these kind of light. I'm going to darken this now. And these ear parts are also shaded darker on the bottom and getting lighter as we go up. I'm going to add in these little details here because I really like them. I personally think they add some fun detail and contrast there, so I'm going to add them. Okay, these little details here are similar to the earpieces. They're darker on the bottom and they fade up to get lighter. Okay, let's move down into this little speaker part thing. It's a very official name too, by the way. There's a little highlight right here, so don't shade that in too dark. Makes it look more dimensional. Darken in that circle a little bit. And then we'll just go out this way and out this way. Add some shading there. Same thing over here. And then we'll do darker here on the underneath and fade that out. Turn this upside down. We'll do darker. Here's another trick. If you've got all this, you know you're going to rest your hand on, just put a piece of paper over that. Do dark along these bottom edges and then fade it out. Okay, I'm going to color in these parts a little darker. I'm just making these long rectangles that I'm not going to color in, or I'll make really light. And then I'm just going to color around them, make all that dark. Now that I got those defined, I'm going to go in a little darker. And then we'll go over them real lightly so they're not quite so stark. Now you can leave it like this, or you can actually smudge some of this to blend more with your finger. If you want to clean this up a little bit with an eraser, you can get some of your smudges off that you didn't mean to smudge. I hope you enjoyed making it. If you have any questions or you run into any problems, please feel free to email me at dianadelos@gmail.com. Now we'll have challenge number 3 announced in just a couple more days. See ya!